what's up, y'all? This is Dosha with DoshaDreamsTarot, and this is a reading for the sign of Sagittarius. This is for Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus signs, or wherever you have Sagittarius in your chart. Please keep in mind it's a general reading, so it may or may not resonate with you. If it does, great, drop me a like. Don't be stingy with the likes and the subscribes, y'all. It's a free and easy way to support me and my channel. So if you like it, please let me know. Drop it in the comments section below. It really does fuel my fire to hear from you guys. Also wanted to say that cross watchers are welcome in my readings, but you come second. So if I talk shit about you, you can't get mad. Just please be respectful. This is Sagittarius's reading after all. Okay. Gender's fluid as well, so don't get hung up on gender. I will call energy as I see it, but besides that, it's fluid, so it can be whatever it needs to be, okay? Whatever's resonating for you. So, yeah, I think that's it. Let's go ahead and get into the reading. Thank you so much, Spirit, for your divine messages and guidance. We are deeply grateful, and we know we couldn't do this without you. Would you please help guide Sagittarius for their highest good? And please bless us and protect us as we move forward into this reading. Okay. Thank you so much, Spirit. Always with the decisions here, you know, and it's funny because I think it's telling, or at least I think that patterns emerge in tarot, not just because obviously we're working with the same cards here, but there are, you know, I think there's 78 typically cards in a deck. Do not quote me on that. I'm bad with like remembering little things like that. Trust me, I've been doing tarot a long time though, but this is just my brain, the way it works. All I know is that patterns emerge, and I think how I feel about that is that a lot of times people come to tarot when they're in a certain type of headspace. And I think a lot of times it's when you're struggling with a decision or a situation, and so you kind of need advice or guidance, right? And I think it's great when people channel messages where it's like, wow, you're doing great, you don't need any guidance at all, like keep rocking it, you know? People need to hear that too. But oftentimes I find that the readings that I do, it's always really addressing like situations that are difficult, so that it feels like one of those readings. But there's some positives here too. I'm gonna go ahead and see if any other cards want to come out before I dive into what I'm seeing so far. Okay. Yep. Sorry, it's just very, yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah, I've got a pretty clear view of what's going on here. Yep, 5 of Wands in reverse at the bottom of the deck. Awesome, we love to see it. Couple things here. First thing is, I believe that you may be delaying your own, and I know, and it's really annoying to hear, and I'm sorry, I'm not, you know what I mean, here to rag on anybody. I'm your friend. I'm here to assist you and guide you, and so I can't do that without being honest or without just being real with you. And this is also, like I said, patterns emerge. So these are common things that I see no matter what sign I'm reading. And it's not just the same reading every time. Like everyone's reading is always different. But I'm just saying that, like, don't take this personally and just recognize that this should be empowering for you, because here's what I'm seeing is that you may have experienced some type of disappointment or loss. Who hasn't? But recently or in the past, I'm not getting a lot of time frame. Rather than I'm getting more recently than further in the past, right? Something that you're still dwelling on or looking at, and you're kind of missing that you actually do have, you know, you do have some things that are going well for you in your life, or good things that you could be focusing on and, you know, feel, grateful for or excited about, or, you know, so I feel like you're focusing on the negatives. It's a little bit of negative Nancy kind of vibes here, but I don't know what happened. I don't know what you went through. I can look deeper into that if we want. I'll see. You know, but really it's just that it's delaying you being able to move on from this experience because you're dwelling on it. And the whole reason why I'm telling you that you dwelling is causing A, B, and C, because you actually have the power here. And I think that's the part that I'm excited to see, and that I hope that you're excited to hear, that this is actually, it's not like this thing is happening to you and there's nothing you can do about it, and so just ride out the storm. It's more like it's already happened, and now I feel like whatever is continuing to happen is really just it playing out in your mind, which a lot of times, like, yeah, I mean, especially emotionally, we have aftershocks, basically, right? Like there's the initial experience, and then there's the aftermath, right? And that's just natural. That's just the way things go. And so, like I said, don't beat yourself up or take this personally. But what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing here is your personal power in the situation, and that's the part that I think is really dope. So, you do have the ability to move away from this and move towards happiness and personal fulfillment and growth, right? And joy and connecting with others here. But I believe because you were having a hard time, like I said, with either clarity about the situation, or you're still ruminating and dwelling in it to a certain extent, so you're not like really cutting it off, so you're feeling kind of blocked. So here's what I'll show you real quick. So it's funny because it's almost like in this congruency, this wave almost, where this is where you're kind of at now, and then this is where you can go what you're going towards, but you're kind of blocked. So you've got the 5 of Cups, all right? So like I was saying, disappointment, loss, heartache, something happened here, right? You've got the 8 of Cups in reverse, which is difficulty moving on from a situation, or delays moving on, okay? So it doesn't mean that you're not moving on, or that you're not able to move on. This is really just talking about what I'm getting anyways. It's just delaying you moving on to the 9 of Pentacles here, which is all about, your own sovereignty. This is about your self-sufficiency, your ability to stand on your own 2 feet and be happy and healthy and wealthy, right? So like this is, you know what I mean, doing well on your own, okay? So on this row, we've got the Queen of Swords in reverse. So I think this is a difficulty in speaking your truth, a difficulty in having clarity, difficulty in cutting something out of your life, right? Like you're feeling a little bit disempowered in that way. And so you've got the 2 of Swords, right? So you see how this row is kind of like, you know what I mean? It's almost mirroring this other one. It's giving you a little bit more insight here. And it's causing you to feel blocked and stuck, and, an inability to make a decision here. Then the decision is really to let this thing go and to move on, right? And I mean, we can make that decision all day long, but if we still continue to engage in the same types of thinking patterns, we still engage in the same, types of, how do I explain this? It's almost like if you keep going to the same places and around the same people and talking about it, and you know what I mean? There's things you can do to prevent yourself from ruminating, right? And continuing to think about it and the thought be triggered. And you know what I mean? Like this, to a certain extent, there's some of it that's out of your control. That's just part of the process of healing from something happening that was disappointing or upsetting. But it really depends on what it is. Like, you know what I mean? I don't really know. And I think it could be across the spectrum for you, Sag. I don't really want to like speculate on that because it's not my place, right? Like, I mean, as a tarot reader, it kind of is. Like, I can go deeper if I want to, but I don't feel like that's necessary. I think you know what happened, and I'm just gonna leave it at that because, like I said, I just am feeling like it could be a lot of different things for a lot of different people. So so you'll know what it is, and that's why I'm saying that even if your emotions are telling you something, you know what I mean? They're natural and they're there for a reason. If something happens that's disappointing, you have a right to feel disappointed. You know what I mean? You have a right to be angry. You have a right to all of your emotions. It's, this is not me saying like you just need to get over it. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that after that has passed, then you are actually able to step in and control those emotions. And I know it's difficult because, I do think that that can be really toxic. Because you can repress yourself. You can also tell yourself you're over it when you haven't fully processed yet. You could have trauma from, I'm just getting from childhood of like being told to suppress your emotions, like don't cry, you know what I mean? Or I'll give you something to cry about, and like all that toxic stuff. Sorry if that was triggering for anybody. But like that, I feel like is kind of like, that could actually cause you to feel like really, really entitled to your emotions, where you're like, no, I have a right to be frustrated. I have a right to be angry. And you can actually end up holding grudges, and you can end up, you know what I mean? Just kind of like living your life in this state of anger and holding on to emotions because you weren't really given the you know, freedom to express them. You know what I mean? And this is just culturally too, like it doesn't even have to, it's not even just about your upbringing and your family and like what that could have been like, but just in general, I feel like culturally, you know, we really do as a society, and you know, here in America, but in other countries it's the same way too, where that I feel like, but in some countries people, you know what I mean, grieve openly in the streets when things happen, and they grieve together as a group, and it's, you know what I mean, it's really cathartic, and catharsis is encouraged in some cultures, but in America it's kind of like, you know what I mean, your emotions are, you know, kind of like a weakness. They're seen as a weakness, right? So what I'm getting anyway is that you may have taken this radical left turn where you're like, okay, now we're in this place where that we're having like a lot of like a kind of a cultural revolution here, where I feel like people are talking about like, you know what I mean, childhood trauma and how toxic it is to suppress your emotions, and you know, you have a right to your emotions are valid, and like that is all true, and I respect that, and I'm so grateful for that change in our culture, and I, you know what I mean, like I really I really have a lot of like respect and gratitude for the people who have stepped up and said that and been brave enough to like continue to fight against, you know, the cultural pressure of how to behave in order to please other people, basically, when really we're all miserable, so we're not really pleasing anybody, are we, you know? So I feel like it's, you know, I think that we have to be careful though, because we can get to a point where that then we think we have a right to be insulting to other people because, well, you know, well, I don't, you know, I don't like that person, or I'm angry right now, or you know what I mean? So like giving yourself excuses to like be harmful to other people, or to like fly off the handle, or to, you know what I mean, stuff yourself away and not take care of your responsibilities, like whatever it is, it's like we can get stuck in our emotions, and we can drown in them, and we can ruminate, and we can, you know, actually amplify our emotions, and we can trigger our own emotions by, you know, the things that we consume, and it's choices. We make choices, and those choices impact us, and so we can actually choose, you know, whether or not to continue down a path. Like the emotion flows through us, and then we can choose to hold on to it, or to like wire it into the way that we behave, you know what I mean? So we have an undertone of a certain emotion. So what I'm trying to say here is you have the personal power, with the Magician coming out here, okay, to move towards a more joyful expression and a more connected way of being, and being able to access your happiness and your freedom and your sense of camaraderie and friendship and celebration of life, right? Not just like, you know, you have the power to party, you know what I mean, right? You do that too, but you know, I really mean, I think you have the personal power to celebrate life rather than grieve its losses, and it's, you know, because there's a time and place for that, and we do have to grieve, and we do have to, you know, feel it to heal it and everything like that. It's all a balance, and that's the difficult part about life, in my opinion, is us, you know, having to work through what it means to find balance, right? Because we can't have too much too much grieving and emotion where we get stuck in it, but we can't have too much celebration and partying and joy where that we repress that, right? So it's really just about understanding where you're at in your process, and to me, it seems like you're at a place in your process where you can actually start to move forward, and you can start to move on from this, and you can step out of the grieving process. And I feel like you've done what it is that you need to do, at least for whoever this reading is for, or you're getting there. But this can either be a caution to not get stuck, or this is an encouragement for you to become unstuck. Does that make sense? So wherever you are in this process, I feel like this concept is incredibly valuable for anybody. Even if, you know, this isn't necessarily resonating with you, I don't know why you would keep watching, but I mean, cool, I'm not mad about it, but I'm just saying if it doesn't fully resonate with you, this could be even helpful for you in the future, so that you know that when you're getting to that place where that you're starting to feel like, okay, I've felt it, you know what I mean, and now I feel like I'm just ruminating, you know what I mean? And we'll know when we're ruminating, because our spirit knows what's going on, and our spirit guides and our ancestors and our angels, and you know what I mean, all of that, they know what's going on too. So if we're ever confused about where we're at in our process, and am I ruminating, am I holding on to stuff, what's going on inside of me, why am I still angry, why am I still sad, like everyone has their time and their process, and it's not linear, and so it's just complicated and confusing sometimes. So it would make sense if this, if you came for a tarot reading, you know what I mean, and you found this, and if it resonated with you, it would make sense, you know what I mean, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say with that, but, because it is difficult to figure out on your own, you know what I mean? And this is the kind of advice that I think is hard to find, and like, not tooting my own horn, but a lot of times I think people just use buzzwords, and they just, you know what I mean, they just have advice that they heard from somebody, and from gurus and whatever, and so they've got like all these ideas about how to move through these types of things, and there are really talented and intelligent and fabulous, kind-hearted, like awesome people out there who are spreading good knowledge about how to work through this stuff, but I feel like that sometimes things can get really really watered down, and the nuance of the difficulty and the complexity of these types of situations, and finding that balance, I think is harder to come by. So what I'm telling you basically, Sag, is that it's okay that you felt this way, and it's okay that you have taken your time, but now I do think it's time to kind of like, to start to think about flying the nest a little bit, if that makes sense. Like maybe you've been in your little depression nest, and like that's okay, and hopefully that's kept you safe, and you felt, you know what I mean, secure, and been able to work through whatever it is. But I think it might be time for you to start to access your personal power again, so that you can move on from this, whatever it is. Yeah, Fool card coming out. Absolutely, I do. I feel like this is time for something new, and it's time for you to, take a little leap here. So let's see what else comes out for you. Thank you so much, Spirit. We appreciate the messages. Are there any other messages that want to come out through the tarot right now, Spirit? Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Okay, yeah. This is crazy. This is literally exactly what I was saying. So first off, the Moon card is coming out, and what that really tells me is that this situation, that to a certain extent you have felt kind of in the dark, and that this is a bit of a mysterious process to you. And I think that's kind of maybe why I was channeling that, like that it can be confusing and complex, you know what I mean, and it's non-linear, and this is all happening deep within in your subconscious as well, right? So I feel like you're starting to make the connections between why it is that you feel, this is the Empress in reverse here, why you're feeling like, you know what I mean, this lack of abundance, and you've got the Nine of Pentacles coming out in reverse as well. So that's a confirmation to me that this is really your ability to stand on your own 2 feet and feel self-confident and feel abundant and healthy and happy and doing all the things that you want to be doing, that it's all tied together here. So you're realizing, like, if I want to be happy, I have to put in the effort and make the first move here. Like you can't just wait for it to clear up, because it's obviously one of those types of situations where you get stuck in it. So you have to actually, like, I feel like, rise up, because you're feeling this lack of self-confidence, and it's a catch-22, and it's so frustrating, because if you're not feeling empowered, then it's hard for you to propel yourself out of the stuck emotion, but if you're stuck in the emotion, then you're not feeling empowered, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's something, usually it's some type of push, some type of spark, something that sets the wheels in motion, and then you just have to, like, you have to balance yourself out. It's almost like when you're learning how to ride a bike, is that you need the momentum and the push of, your guardian, whoever it is, to push you forward. And then once you're moving and you have the momentum, then you just have to keep your balance. We have the Justice card coming out right after that. So That's exactly what I'm getting here, Sag, is it's like you're in this state where that you just need to be, you just need a little push, and maybe this reading will be that little push for you, or maybe whatever it is that you're seeking, you're looking for something, right, to assist you in getting out of this kind of this place so that you can move on and you can reach your happiness and all of that. And it's just over and over again, like these are the patterns that I'm seeing, is that we have difficulty with healing ourselves from the inside, and so then we recognize that everything on the outside of us is actually, it really is tied into that, and we're like, wow, because my decisions, it doesn't even have to be metaphysical. We can even talk like science, is that like if you're feeling, and it's not science, but I just mean logic, right, is if you're not feeling confident in yourself, if you are having a difficult time with keeping your emotional, balance, right? So that you're feeling like upset, you're feeling sad, you're feeling depleted, whatever it is, then your day-to-day choices are going to be different than if you were feeling self-confident and happy and all of those things, right? I mean, duh. Like, I feel like I'm stating the obvious here, and some of you all might just be rolling your eyes at me, but like, the reason why I say it is because a lot of times people do mention things, and I don't want to just say like other people don't know what they're talking about, because I just don't think that's very fair, and that's not what I'm trying to say. But I think that it's not very helpful when we keep hearing over and over again, your inner world reflects on the outside, and your outside experience is really a manifestation of like your inner experience. Like, there's these concepts, and they're not wrong, like, but the way that it's phrased and the way that it's put is kind of like, it makes it seem like you have to do some like, some magic here, you know what I mean, to like get yourself back in order somehow, which can be really confusing if you don't just have like some really tangible ideas about how to do that, you know what I mean. Then you start to get down on yourself, because you're like, I guess I'm not powerful enough, I guess I'm not magical enough, and I guess I'm not manifesting right, I guess I just deserve this, and like it starts to spiral out. Okay, so you have to recognize that this is really about the balance also between your spiritual and your physical world, and like I was saying, is that like, if you change the things that like your, say the things that you're consuming, or the people you spend your time around, your day-to-day decisions and activities, I feel like if you were to try and hone in on where those things can change, that's going to help you to continue this healing process and be able to move out of it. Just change up your routine somehow, get that momentum going, and you know what I mean, and see how the little things are just drops in your bucket until you're like, whoa, I feel replenished again finally, like I feel like I can, take a deep breath and actually like tackle something that needs to be done, or you know what I mean. And I just feel like there are still good things in your life, Sag. Like, you still have these 2 cups standing up behind you, and you may not see them right now because you're focused on the 3 spilt cups here, but I feel like you're going to start to see those things, and I feel like you're going to start to find the balance. It's just a matter of momentum, but you have the personal power to do this, okay? And it doesn't have to be, metaphysical and, where you're manifesting your reality and doing all that sort of thing. Like, I'm not knocking on that, because I do think that there's a place for that, but I just think to a certain extent people rely too heavily on it, and they forget about the actual effort, and not just mental, spiritual, emotional effort. That's part of it. You need that too in the balance, but I feel like you also really need like those physical, tangible ways of impacting your reality, right? By actually putting in effort and making choices, different choices, So that's what I'm getting for you, Sag. I'm going to go ahead and pull you a couple of these oracle cards that I put together. I wrote some of my own little messages on here, so we're going to start integrating these into the readings. We'll see if there's any messages in here for you. Spirit saying these ones. This one too? Okay, well, I guess you get 4. That was easy. Okay, wow. Bottom of the deck says, mysterious and spontaneous miracles. That's really exciting. See, life is mysterious in a lot of different ways, This is so funny. You got some really funny ones with funny combination, but these are good. Okay, so rise to the occasion, right? So I kind of feel like this is what Spirit is encouraging you to do, is to, actually step up a little bit here, you know, and I feel like we all need a bit of a pep talk sometimes, you know, and I think that it's not about like, you know, everything's gonna be okay, it'll all work out. Like, yes, it will, but you do have to do certain things, you know what I mean? So like, I'm saying that to you, like I said, as a friend. Like, this is like, I'm here to support you, I'm not here to give you a hard time, but you know what I mean? I would hope that somebody would say the same thing to me, and my tarot readers do. You know what I mean? When I'm slumping, they're like, okay, time to sit up straight and get your shit done. You know, and I'm like, thank you. So stay cool and calm, right? So something I was getting also, like I was saying, some of the emotions you might be holding on to might be disappointment and anger, right? So I'm getting anger might be some of the things that some of you are stuck in. This might be for some of you, not all of you, but this is a reminder to stay calm and to find your center, and like really try and implement some soothing kind of modalities, right? Some healing that involves relaxation. You know what I mean? I'm even getting for some of y'all like celery and cucumber for some reason. Like, as you can make a juice. You can even blend stuff in your blender and then strain it if you have a fine mesh strainer, and make juice that way if you don't have a juicer. By the way, just throwing it out there. I don't know why, but so this one. I'm going to save that one for last because it's too funny. So, I refuse to be used, right? Absolutely. I think that that's part of, how you're feeling, and it's good because I feel like that will propel you forward as well, as your desire to not experience the same type of disappointment again, depending on what it is, right? But that's good for you, because I think that might be, you can use your anger in a positive way, okay? And I know that sounds, I mean, you can, though. You can channel your anger, because with this Queen of Swords, it's like, with balance, the Queen of Swords is able to make swift decisions and truthful and accurate decisions that will actually, sometimes result in people getting cut out, So if you're in a place where that you're having a hard time cutting people out of your life, and you're having a hard time walking away from some type of situation, you're blocked in this decision, right? Like, maybe this is an ongoing thing, or like I said, you're hanging around the same types of people, right? Maybe you even are trying to just let it go and forgive somebody, even though they did you wrong, did you dirty or something. This Queen of Swords in reverse, I mean, I feel like if you were to really empower yourself with this anger that you're feeling and this disappointment, then you could just say, I simply fucking refuse this. I'm not going to continue to allow this in my life, and become empowered again, which is what I think Spirit is encouraging. So I'm gonna laugh so hard. This card is so funny. I don't even know what I was thinking when I was doing these cards, by the way. Like, I was just channeling whatever came to mind. So far pretty, I mean, they're all pretty legit, but this one's funny because I did like different categories, and this category was kind of like the love and cutesy, like sweet stuff. And this one says, your hair, your eyes, your lips, your thighs. I don't know why. So whatever, you're beautiful. Love your body, I think maybe that's what that is love yourself, love your body, and, and I feel like you're lovable. Your body is lovable, and, somebody somewhere out there thinks so just keep that in mind if it's a motivator. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it there, Sag. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Spirit's saying for me to go ahead and pull a love card. Well, that would make sense then, because maybe that's a hint, okay? Maybe it's a little hint at something to come, you never know. So let's see. Maybe that, I don't know if those were lyrics to a song, or like, I really don't know where that came from, honestly. It's just really funny. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, we literally have 2 messages here. This one says, give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. Yes, Sagittarius, absolutely. Oh, that's great. Okay, this one is balance. I can't make this stuff up, y'all. Love is not always about agreeing just for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges. So maybe you may already be in a relationship, I'm getting, for some of you, and this "I refuse to be used" thing, you can't agree with someone just for the sake of it and just let it go and forgive them and not stand your ground and speak your truth, because then you're not challenging them. So the balance here is also you speaking up and saying, hey, no, I refuse. I do not appreciate your behavior. And if that means the relationship has to end, then so be it. I will be on my own if that's what it means. If that's what I have to do, if I have to walk away from this in order to not be used anymore. Or you could change your behavior. So maybe it's a balance of supporting your partner, but also challenging them to change and grow and be better, you know? But for those of you who are single, it kind of sounds like you might have some love coming your way. So that's kind of awesome. I think both of those messages are awesome, because it's not awesome if your partner's acting like an a-hole, but you standing up for yourself and saying, look, I have enough self-respect to walk away from this if you don't change your behavior. I think that's awesome, because that will challenge your partner. And if they decide that they don't have it in them to change their behavior, then freaking walk away from them. You don't deserve that. You don't. You may walk away and walk right into a better situation here. You know? I don't encourage that, but I'm just saying that you might even just have lots of love coming your way from your friends, you know? From your community. Maybe new friends. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. That was a good reading. I hope you enjoyed it, Sag. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to support me and my channel. If you need a dream interpretation, that link is in the description box below, my contact info anyway, as well as my donation link. So if you're interested in dropping me a donation, I totally appreciate it. But yeah, that's it for you. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.